Welcome back to the Mid-Plains League, where the Baldwin City Blues will face off against the Midwest A's. I'm here, Brett Gamber, here with Nick, and we're going to start off with the starting lineups for the away team, the Midwest A's. Starting off for the A's will be number 5, Blake Veneman. In the 2-hole, it will be number 22, Evan Johnson. In the 3-hole, it will be number 7, Drew Oreskes, and in the cleanup, it will be number 44, Clayton Eskra. In the 5-hole, it will be number 25, Aiden Blockowitz. In the 6-hole, it will be number 24, Easton Wassinger. In the 7-hole, it will be number 19, Jack Harris. In the 8-hole, it will be number 35, Morgan Wilkins. And to finish the lineup for the A's will be number 11, Aiden Morgan. Pitching for the A's will be Preston Keyser. And with that being said, we will switch over to the Blues lineup. To start the lineup for the Blues, it will be number 31, Maverick Rockers. In the 2-hole, it will be number 3, Brennan Johnson. In the 4-hole, it will be number 5, Kendall Rivero, my apologies. In the 5-hole, it will be number 18, Cade Adams. In the 6-hole, it will be number 24, Colton Howerton. In the 7-hole, it will be number 11, Logan Grow. In the 8-hole, it will be number 13, Austin Arocha. And to finish off this Blues lineup, it will be number 0, Marquis Williams. Pitching for your Baldwin City Blues will be Ty Clark, number 25. So first off, Nick, obviously these teams have played quite a bit together within this past week. How are you feeling about this game today?
I'm feeling pretty confident for the Blues. We've been pretty hot the past 2 days. I think that, like we said last game, if we could just keep the bats hot and the pitching well, just throwing strikes, go out there, have fun, don't play stiff. We will win this game. Those are the key things that I think that we need to keep in mind.
For the Midwest A's, obviously they had a very good attempt at making leading stride for a win yesterday, but obviously came up a little bit short. So again, like we preach in games prior, obviously I wouldn't be surprised to see another high-scoring game.
Me as well.
With that being said, we are going to take a little break for the national anthem. And we are back here to start off the warm-ups for the Blues. I'm going to go ahead and talk through the lineup a little bit, or at least the fielding positions for the Blues here tonight. And at first, or let's start with the pitcher. So obviously the pitcher tonight for the Blues will be Ty Clark. Catching for the Blues will be Austin Arocha. At first, we will have Kendall Rivera. At second, we will have Maverick Rockers. In the shortstop spot, we will have Logan Grow. Playing third for the Blues will be Cade Adams, and then moving out to the outfield, playing left field for the Blues will be Brennan Johnson. Out in center will be Marquis Williams, and in right field will be Colden Howerton. So, Nick, how do you see the lineup for the Blues?
I think it's pretty strong. I think this is probably our best lineup out there. We're chasing to get a win here tonight, and I'm excited to watch this game.
Obviously, the Blues have had some struggles in the earlier part of the season, so a win tonight would bring them one more game closer to 500. As far as the standings go, both these teams are in the lower half of the standings, so both of them could very much use this win to advance one game further up in the standings.
Absolutely. I think that adds just another competitive edge to the teams, just because they're both fighting for a playoff spot and trying to prove their worth in this league, and so exciting stuff.
And while we're on a little break here before the first pitch, obviously it's going to be a hot one. Right now, a little weather report for you viewers. It is 91 degrees outside, but it feels like 98. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and start for the first pitch, and it will be the second baseman, Blake Veneman, to start off the A's lineup here tonight.
Like we said last game, we got some speed here on the leadoff. So yeah, as a Blues player, you got to be aware of that.
Blake does originate from the lovely city of Overland Park, as the first pitch comes in, and it's a swing and a foul ball for strike one. He does originate from, obviously, like I said, the city of Overland Park, and went to Olathe East High School, but now plays at Missouri Western. As that pitch will stay out for ball one, making the count 1-1. Obviously, we've talked about this plenty of times, but like you said, it's a good correlation to have Blake Veneman and Brennan Johnson together. Obviously, they both have speed.
Right.
As that's a ground ball to the shortstop, Grow, but it took a little bit of a bad hop there and escaped him for a...
The third baseman, number
for a,
22,
I don't know if you would consider that as, and we're going to call that an error to get someone on first to get Veneman on first for the first batter for the A's.
Tough play to make there. I think he just thought it was going to be a liner, but it kind of hit off his glove a little bit there.
As the first pitch is outside for Evan Johnson, the third baseman for the A's. Yeah, I'd agree. Like you said, bad hops happen, and when we talk about the field conditions, whether it's grass or dirt, a lot of bad hops can come through dirt or grass rather than turf. As that's going to be a foul ball right behind Johnson to even the count at 1. Obviously, Ty Clark is a pitcher for the Baker University Wildcats here where we are tonight, and has done quite well for the Wildcats. Been a very big bullpen pitcher, but as that's going to be high for ball 2. But he's been a very big asset for the team, as he's been that guy that will come in later relief and just get the balls in play and let the defense do the work. So that's just going to miss outside for 3-1.
Kind of surprised that they're leaving him on first out there and haven't sent him to second. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a steal here.
As that's going to be in there for strike 1, or strike 2, my bad, to make the count full. Yeah, Austin Arocha does have a pretty good arm behind the dish, so as that's a ground ball to third base for Cade Adams, they're going to try and turn 2, and it's going to be in time. So that is definitely what you want for the Blues, as Cade Adams and Maverick Rockers were able to pick up Grow and clean up a little bit of mess that they got in early.
Great play, Adams there. That was a hard hit ground ball, and he stayed down, kept his head down and quickly transitioned it to second and made a great double play there.
So with that double play, it'll bring up number 7, the first baseman for the A's, Drew Oreskes. Drew Oreskes is from El Dorado Hills, California, and for viewers that might not agree with the pronunciation that I use, Dorado, you know, tomato is what I like to say. And that's going to be in there for strike 1.
Great pitch there.
He said, "Not if it's the city in Kansas. The city in Kansas is El Dorado."
I say Dorado.
No,
I do.
you're not a true Kansas.
As that's going to stay high to even the count out 1-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the first. I think it's going to be super crucial, Nick, for the Blues to, like I said, game after game, to get ahead early, and as that's going to be a good foul ball right behind.
Please return all foul balls.
Do we know how good of a pickoff move Ty Clark has to first? Because that also can be a factor on if they're going to be stealing bases.
Yes. You know, Austin, like I said, Austin Rocha does have a good arm, so, you know, having Ty Clark on the bump as a lefty, as a pitch comes in, and it's going to be shot to left field, and Brennan Johnson will make the catch to end the top of the first with a quick three-batter inning. But, yes, I think it will play a crucial factor, as Ty Clark does obviously have a good pickoff move, but with a solid arm behind the dish and a lefty that's going to keep him close to the base, it definitely will play a factor. Well, with that 1-2-3 inning, we will go ahead and take a little break, and we'll be right back with the bottom of the first. We are back in the action to start the bottom of the first for the Blues. And number 31, Maverick Rockers, will start off for the Blues. And just a little bit about our pitcher, Preston Keyser, as that is low for ball 1. He is a graduate of 2024, so just fresh out of high school from Anderson County High School. As that's going to be in there on the outer third for strike 1. In high school, he in his senior season, he pitched 13 1/3 inning, as that's going to be out for ball 2 with a 3.68 ERA, and that's going to be inside for ball 3. But he was nominated second team All Pioneer for that conference, as that's going to be takes a little butcher boy hack at it, and that's going to be out of play for strike 1.
Definitely an aggressive move there, showing bunt, and then like a little late swing to throw the defense off. I kind of like that, but from now on, I would fully swing this AB, try to get it out there and play.
And like we had talked about before, Brendan Johnson has been known to do his little tomfoolery action either on the bases or, as that is going to soar over Wilkins' head, and Rockers will advance 90 more feet to home, putting him in scoring position for Johnson. Yeah, obviously we've talked about Johnson's tomfoolery not only on the bases but obviously at the plate as well, as that's going to be low for ball 2, making the count 2-1.
Yeah, he very much likes to try to get in his opponent's head subtly, not in an ignorant way at all. Just
so that's going to be inside for ball 3, making the count 3-1. Johnson does originate from the city of Topeka. As he takes a healthy cut, ground ball to Veneman, and he will make the play for out number 1 in the bottom of the first, while advancing Rockers to third.
The designated hitter, number 19, Andrew Brubeck.
in a good position here to score a run. Let's see if the Blues can get it done here.
Yes, this will bring up Andrew Brubeck, as that's a good breaking ball in there for strike 1 to start off Brubeck. Brubeck is the Blues' designated hitter tonight, as that's going to be low, and a good block by Wilkins for ball 1. That's a ground ball between second and third, and will make the play is Clayton Eskera to retire the second out of the inning, but will score Maverick Rockers to make the score 1-0 Blues.
Great play there by the shortstop, backhand, but we were able to get an RBI from it.
As that's going to be low and away for ball 1 for Kendall Rivero, the first baseman for the Blues. As that's not going to catch the outer third for ball 2, making the count 2-0. As a nice healthy cut from Rivero to make the count 2-1.
Great swing there. Very hard and quick.
As a little hanging breaking ball to make the count 3-1. Obviously, we've preached about before, but the Blues does have a lot of power on the team. As a nice healthy cut from Rivero, that's going to be lined foul on the third base side to make the count full with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. That's going to be a walk for Rivero to put him on first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
The third baseman, number 18, Cade Adams.
So 2 quick walks for the Blues that, I mean, could be the deciding factor for the game. Obviously, we talk about walks in any game, but especially early, it can be tough to come back from, because that's going to be in there for strike 1.
Adams had a great play at third there last inning. Let's see if we can get offensive here.
So that's going to be a pop fly. Might be some trouble, but Aiden Morgan will make the play in shallow left field to retire Cade Adams and end off the bottom of the first. We will take a short little break and get back to you with the top of the second.
for the Midwest A's. The third
So we will start with the top of the second as number 44, Clayton Eskra, will start off for the A's. And my apologies for the lineups. He is playing third, while Evan Johnson is playing shortstop. As the pitch comes in, it's going to be hit to shallow right. And will make the catch is Colton Howerton to retire the first out of the inning. Looked like Marquis Williams was almost trying to take it away from Howerton, but obviously we've preached before that Williams does have some outrageous speed.
Yes.
But with that pop fly to right field, brings up Aiden Blankowitz, as that's going to be in there for called strike one. And like I said before, Ty Clark is one of those guys that's going to let his defense do the work and not really going to look for strikeouts, as Blankowitz will chase the high fastball for early 0-2 count.
I'm thinking out of the zone here, getting him to chase. This guy has some power, and you don't want to leave one in there for him to take out, especially down 0-2.
So it's going to be a foul ball out of play on the left side to keep the count at 0-2. Blankowitz is from Olathe, Kansas, and plays at Central Missouri, and will be a senior this upcoming year. So it's a ground ball to Cade Adams, as he's going to try and make a play at first and in time for out number 2 in this quick first 2 outs of the top of the second.
The designated hitter, number 24, Easton Wassinger.
Easton Wassinger will be next up for the A's.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
So that's not going to be in there for ball 1.
Close pitch there. I like that spot.
Wassinger is from Overland Park, Kansas, but goes to college in St. Louis, and that'll be in there for called strike 1, making the count even with 2 outs. That's just going to miss away for ball 2. So it's going to be a high fly ball to right field, and it's going to be fair, right on the line, as I believe home plate umpire is going to... Oh, he's going to call that it hit the yellow pole fencing at right field, so it will be a ground rule double for Wassinger.
Did that look fair to you?
I believe I mean, from our line of view here, it does look fair.
Yeah.
But that's also one that is hard for us to call in the booth. Jack Harris will try and hope to keep this little mojo alive for the A's, as that's going to hit Harris, the first pitch, around the ankle, which obviously that does not feel too good. But he's taking like a champion, trot his way to first.
If I'm Ty Clark here, I'm really trying to get this out. With 2 outs, you would hate to see a run score.
That will bring up Morgan Wilkins, the catcher for the A's, in hopes to keep it alive
Morgan Wilkins.
with 2 outs here in the top of the second. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. And Marquis Williams will make the grab for out number 3 here in the top of the second. We will take a short break and come back to you with the bottom of the second.
Baldwin City.
Leading off for the Blues here in the bottom of the second is Colden Howerton, the right fielder for the Blues.
Number 24, Colden Howerton.
Colden Howerton is from Topeka, sorry, and he goes to college at Baker University. So that's going to be low for ball 1. As the second pitch is going to come in and be low and inside for ball 2. As that's going to be in there for called strike 1, making the count 2-1 here in the bottom of the second. As a little late call by the home plate umpire, but it's going to even up the count at 2-2. A nice breaking ball inside. As Howerton's going to call time, as Keyser may have taken a little too long to receive the call. And Howerton's going to hold down on that breaking ball, but fouls it towards the Blues dugout.
Good job protecting there. Because that was a breaking ball, and he knew it was going to be a strike.
Yeah, the home plate umpire called a pitch earlier, and Howerton will get a hold of this one. And it's going to be at the warning track, but caught by right fielder Aiden Blonkowitz to retire for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, if that ball's hit a little harder, that could get out.
I'd agree. The launch angle was there, just not enough into it.
Right.
As that's going to be inside for ball 1 for shortstop Logan Groh. And seemed like a changeup for a swing and a miss. Strike 1 to make the count 1-1 here at the bottom of the second. The Blues were able to score Maverick Rockers in the first inning to make the score 1-0 with a foul ball right behind us. To make the score 1-0 for an early lead here in this game tonight. And a breaking ball that started was pretty good, actually. That started in the middle of the zone, but break down on the plate. But Grow is able to hold back. And that's going to be low for ball 3 to make the count full.
Working his count. Doing good two-strike batting.
I think for both teams it's going to be crucial to work the starting pitcher, as that's a ground ball to shortstop and will not be in time, as you know, that's one of those Jeter plays that is tough to make. And while we're talking about the shortstop, it will be a change in lineup for the A's, as Landon Vale will take the shortstop spot, and at third base it will be Evan Johnson, with Eskra coming out.
Yeah, Vale with a great play there. Just not getting it to the first baseman in time, but that's a tough play to make.
As a attempt at back pick right there, and with that pitch it will be called strike 1 for Austin Arocha, the catcher for the Blues. So breaking ball is in there for a swing and a miss, and an early 0-2 count for Arocha. As another breaking ball that won't quite get in the zone for ball 1. And I think we're starting to notice a trend here of how heavy Keyser is on his off speed. Obviously, whether that's a changeup or a curveball, as that's going to be in the dirt for a 2-2 count.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's not afraid to throw an off-speed first pitch. He throws them early, and he's an aggressive pitcher.
So that's going to be another breaking ball that's low and away, and a good block by Wilkins, but makes the count full.
Started 0-2, and now it's full. Great AB.
And that's not going to be in there, so that will be a work of a AB for Arocha, where obviously, like you said, started in 0-2 and was able to work himself a walk.
Yeah, I think that was a good call by the Blue. Just a little high. Great spot, but yeah, just a little high.
With that walk by Arocha, it will be Marquis Williams up to bat now, as he shows bunt and is not going to be in there. So it's going to be a first pitch ball for Williams.
It's looking like this zone might be a little bit smaller than what we've seen in the past, but we'll have to see if that continues into the game.
As a pitch gets away from Wilkins and he's not sure where it is, he's able to relocate it, but both runners, Grow and Arocha, will advance 90 feet further. So all of a sudden you have one guy in scoring opportunity, but now all of a sudden with that wild pitch to make the count 2-0, you have 2, which Marquis Williams hits a ground ball to shortstop and is going to be high, and Oreskes is going to have to jump for it, but it will score Grow, as obviously Vale is going to have to try and make a quick play knowing Marquise is that fast. So that will score 1 and make the score 2-0, the Blues, here in the bottom of the second, with runners at first and third, with Maverick Rockers up to bat now. And Maverick Rockers will take a hefty swing, and that's going to be gone for Maverick Rockers, as that's just a high fastball that he just turned on, and left fielder Aiden Morgan took 10 steps back and watched it fly over the fence.
That ball was crushed, and we said this to start the game. We thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, and it's getting active pretty early here, as that ball was crushed to left field. Great hit.
Huge for the Blues here in the bottom of the second to start the game with a score of 5-0.
Yeah,
like we said before, obviously how crucial it is to get ahead and stay ahead. But this is starting to become a reoccurring event for the Blues.
It's just a matter if they can hold that lead.
So that's going to be a breaking ball that's going to stay high for ball 1 for Johnson. Yeah, obviously last game it was, a solid 9-0 for a good portion of the game, but then the A's try to do their best to come back and win that game. So that's going to be low for ball 3. Do you think it would be wise for Will Rogers to come out and kind of relax Keyser after that bomb?
Absolutely.
As he's going to throw a breaking ball with a 3-0 count, which obviously, like you said, he's so confident in his breaking ball. So makes a count 3-1. And Johnson will hit a ground ball to Vitamin, and it will be in time for out number 2 here in the bottom of the second.
That just goes to show how confident he is with that off-speed, throwing back-to-back with 3-0, and he throws back-to-back off-speeds to get the out. Great decision there by the pitcher.
And so with that ground out by Johnson, we'll bring Brubeck for another breaking ball first pitch, but will be lown away for ball 1. And once again, back-to-back breaking balls for I guess that one will be called for a strike, making the count 1-1.
That is 5 off speeds in a row now, I think.
He must just he does not have any trouble with the curve, is
right.
Obviously what I'd like to say, as he's going to switch up a fastball that's going to be low and away and not called for a strike, making the count 3-1.
For some games, these pitchers, they might feel a little bit more confident with their off-speed than their fastball.
So that's going to be a ground ball to the third baseman, Evan Johnson, and will be in time and will finish out the bottom of the second, but the Blues were able to stack on a couple insurance runs to make the score 5-0 and leading into the top of the third. We will take a short break and come back to you with the action.
The left fielder, number 11, Aiden Morgan.
So we jump back into the action for the top of the third. And it will be the bottom of the lineup for the A's, as Aiden Morgan will step up to the plate, the left fielder for the A's.
Blues getting hot here early. Let's see if they can keep up this great defensive work they've been doing.
As that's going to be just high for ball 1.
And like I said earlier, I think that this Blue, he has a good zone. It's consistent, but yeah, it is a little bit smaller. But we're getting to that age where that's normal.
And that's going to be in there for called strike 1, as it looked pretty similar, but like you said, the zone, obviously as we're getting to a collegiate level, will be a little tighter. So that's going to be a pop-up, and Ty Clark's going to call it for the first out of the inning. And now they will round back up to the top of the order for Blake Veneman here in the top of the third.
Baseman, number 5, Blake Veneman.
I'll see like. I'll see.
That's going to be high for ball 1.
He's funny.
And you're starting to notice a little bit of a trend that, Ty Clark, it's not ideal, but he does work the count a little bit, obviously trying to get something to chase for the batter, given that, he's more of a ground ball, fly ball pitcher, and not really the strikeout type.
Very much a contact pitcher. I was the same way. You just try to get him to put it in play.
As that's going to be the second ball that's elevated, but the third ball in the count, making the count 3-0.
I still follow some of them. I'll see them.
And that's going to be in there for called strike 1. As, well, the blue, he got me, and he obviously got Veneman.
Yeah.
But that'll make the count 3-1 with 1 out here in the top of the third. So that's going to be a fly ball to center field, and Marky Williams will show off his speed once again.
Yeah, with that speed, that play can be a diving play or a much harder play for a lot of different players, but for him, he's able to do that still looking clean. He didn't even have to dive or anything for that. Great play.
He reminds me almost of like a Lorenzo Cain out there.
Oh, yeah.
Covering
so much ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As that's going to be middle for strike 1 for Evan Johnson.
Great pitch there. I don't know what the batter is looking for, but sometimes you want to take the first pitch.
That's going to be high for ball 1 to make the count 1-1. Johnson did ground out into a double play in the first, but wouldn't be surprised to see a nice base hit, as that's going to be shallow center field, and once again, Marquis Williams, my apologies for the voice crack, but Marquis Williams will show off his speed countless times to make another shallow center field catch to end the top of the third.
Great reads by Marquis Williams out there chasing these balls down.
I'd agree, and that is his third catch of the evening, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. But that is another scoreless half inning for Ty Clark, and we will be right back with the bottom of the third.
Number 5, Kendall Rivero.
And now we will bring up Kendall Rivero to start off the bottom of the third for the Blues, as that's a nice healthy hack for strike 1.
Great spot in there for a strike.
And that'll be called strike 2. And it's going to be a 3-pitch strikeout for Keyser, and will be his first strikeout of the game. And that will bring up Cade Adams
18, Cade Adams.
to see if he can get something going here in the bottom of the third. It's going to be low for ball 1. And a breaking ball that's just going to miss the zone outside for ball number 2. Cade Adams did fly out to left field in the first and took a nice healthy inside hack to foul off and making the count 2-1.
Yeah, he definitely wanted that inside fastball there. He wanted to take that to the moon, but here we are, 2-1. See if we can get a base hit right field.
As another breaking ball that started again in the middle of the zone and almost seemed like a slider because it broke towards the outside away from Adams and making the count 2-2 here real quick. I think a big thing part of Keezer's game is obviously just the pace. He likes to just start quick and keep going quick, as that's a high fly ball to left field, and it's going to be gone. Oh, it is. Sorry, my apologies. It's not going to be gone, but it will be a double for Adams as Adam Morgan, I'm not sure if he misread that, but he jumped over the fence.
Right fielder, number 24, Colden
Keezer hanging a little bit of a curveball there, and yeah, able to put a bat on ball there.
With that double, it's going to bring up Colden Howerton, as it's going to be a low first pitch for ball 1.
I'm surprised he was able to get a hold of that so well with it being a curveball, but at a launch angle there, I'm surprised that didn't get out.
As Adams is going to run, and that throw's going to be there, but not even a attempted tag, as he had a pretty good jump.
Great jump there.
But he will be safe at third, so being put in scoring position for Howerton a little easier, as that's going to be in there on the outer third for strike 1, making the count 2-1.
Guy on third here, 1 out. This could be trouble for the A's. Just got to put it in play.
And in play is what he does. That's going to be an RBI single up the middle to make the score 6-0 for the Blues, as they continue to dominate with their bats here early in the game.
Doing a great job of actually using teamwork. They had 3 guys on, and then there was a homer hit, and they're just using each other to score runs.
Now that's looked like a nice little hanging, but was right in there, middle of the middle. 4 strike 1 for Logan Groh. And a great block by Wilkins, as that ball was in the dirt pretty early, but is able to get onto it quick and not let Howerton advance.
I finally became friendly with Tubby, but even like Connor, because Connor just
Runner goes.
And Howerton's going to be safe. A amazing jump by Veneman to not let that ball get into the outfield, as I'm not sure Howerton would have taken off for third, but
Didn't get the out, but that just shows the athleticism of the second baseman there for the A's.
he did have some hops there. But now all you see is Howerton in scoring position, and he's about to take off real quick, but a pickoff move to second base that's not going to be thrown.
Trying to get in the pitcher's head a little bit there, I think.
And that's going to be a foul ball behind us to make the count 1-2.
Foul balls, so the 10 on the third base side.
As another pickoff move to second, but not thrown back once again. And looks like Will Rogers is going to come out and talk to Keezer a little bit, maybe try and think of a situation to come about, or kind of what the mindset is. Nick, go ahead. What's our expertise here on what they might be talking about?
I think after those 2 pickoff moves, he's probably telling the pitcher, "Hey, let's focus on the batter here. Runner in scoring position. Yes, we don't want him to steal, but let's trust our catcher with his arm, and let's just focus on the batter." Obviously, Given looks to the second switching up those looks too. You don't want to do the same thing every time because he will pick up on that and steal a base. But yeah, I just think that he's telling them to stay calm, focus on the batter. Really,
I know a lot of guys, obviously playing baseball, they go by the UCLA rule, and
yes,
you know, as a guy that's on base, you do the UCLA rule to see how long the tempo is, and obviously Keyser's tempo is quite quick, but I think they're starting to catch on that a little early.
Yeah,
the Blues are, and so that's why they're able to make those jumps so quick, or you know, try and kind of toy with them a little bit.
the UCLA rule is a great rule for base runners to use.
As Howerton's going to run, and it's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop, and another high throw from Vale, and Grow will be safe at first, and it is going to be an error on Vale.
Austin Arocha.
But will advance Howerton to third, making the runners at first and third with one out here in the bottom of the third.
The Blues are just really just putting the ball in play and seeing what the A's give them.
And a little delayed steal, and they're actually going to run a double steal while Howerton's going to score, and Grove's going to come around to advance also to third. So a little breakdown of that play for you. Obviously, Wilkins is going to throw down to second, and Veneman is going to cut it off halfway and not even trying to make the attempt to tag Grow, and they're going to try and get Howerton out at home, but not in time, and the throw is actually a little high too.
Blues starting off extremely aggressive here, as that's a called strike, but
That's going to
my
be
apologies,
outside.
ball.
But a good block by Wilkins to make the count 2-1 for Austin Arocha. And that's going to be breaking ball in there for called strike 2, making the count 2-2 with one out. Another breaking ball that Rocha's going to swing at, and it's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3. So that will be Keyser's second strikeout of the night. But that will bring up Marquis Williams to see if he can get a little more going for the Blues with 2 outs here. And first pitch swing, and it's going to be a grounder to Drew Oreskes, and he's going to make the play to end the third inning. But the Blues are once again able to stack on a couple runs, making the score 7-0 early in the game, obviously 3 innings in. So we will see when we get back if the Midwest A's are able to stack on a couple of their own. we are going into the top of the fourth now
Leading off
for the A's.
the first baseman.
And leading off will be number 7, Drew Oreskes, the first baseman for the A's.
A's looking to get hot here. Hopefully they want to put up a run here.
That's going to be high for ball 1. Obviously, you know, the score does show, but the A's haven't been through the lineup quite as much as the Blues, as that's going to be inside for ball 2. But I think that's a good tell of, you know, how this game's going. Obviously, the Blues have played an extraordinary small ball sort of feel, as that's going to be high for ball 3. But, you know, a show bunt while he steals, a double steal. You know, they've really done every situation in the book that classifies it as small ball.
Starting off very aggressive this game for the Blues.
So that's going to be a 4-pitch walk for Oreskes. And that'll be an early first runner for the A's, hoping to get some runs to account for the Blues' 7 runs recorded. Now hitting will be Landon Vale, as he will step in for his first at-bat of the game. For those that are just tuning in, as that's outside for ball 1, Logan Vale was not in for the first inning, as Evan Johnson was at third, as that's fouled back for strike 1. As Evan Johnson was at third, and Clayton Eskera was at third, and Evan Johnson was playing shortstop, but when Logan Vale was put into the game, he was to take the shortstop position, and Evan Johnson was able to move over to third. So that's a check swing for strike 2 to make the count 1-2.
Great spot by Ty there. As a contact pitcher, you're really looking for a double play here, especially with power up to the plate.
That's going to be a pop fly to right center, and it looks like they had a little bit of confusion, but Drew Oreskes will be out at second, as Colin Howerton was trying to make the play, but seemed like Marquise Williams was also calling for it, and a little bit of confusion. Oh. But there will be one out with that first pitch high for ball 1.
Yeah, just a little bit of confusion, but still able to get the out at second out.
As that's a little blooper to right field, and Colton Howerton was not able to make the diving play. And so that will be a hit for Aiden Blankowitz,
The designated hitter, number 24, Easton Wassinger.
putting runners at first and second with one out here in the top of the fourth. My apologies, and bringing up Easton Wassinger to the plate. As Ty Clark might have been a little confused by the signs, but we will be right back into the action right now. The pitch will catch the high outside corner for called strike 1 for Wassinger.
I also don't like Derek Young. I just hate people who have scoops, I think.
And that's going to be high and inside for ball 1.
Wassinger in there as a lefty, has a very loose stance. I like it. Looks like it could generate a lot of power, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stances when batting in baseball, as that's going to be a high fly ball to center field. And Marquis Brown will make the catch. And runner tagged from second. And Landon Vale will successfully take third. And so will Drew Oreskes actually at second, too. So both runners advance 90 feet further.
Center fielder number 19, Jack Harris.
Great read there by Marquis Williams. And even a great throw to third. That's a tough play to make, and he made it very close. Now there's 2 outs, so we just need 1 more out to get out of this inning.
Last at bat, Jack Harris did get hit by a pitch, first pitch on the ankle, as that's going to be high for ball 1. But it will be interesting to see if Jack Harris will be able to get a couple runs to put on the board for the A's, as that gets away from Clark and will be ball 2.
She's like, I just need to stay out of foul trouble. I was like, you're right, cook.
Like we talked about before, last game the A's were able to make a good run at trying to make the comeback last night, as that's going to be a foul ball behind us to make the count 2-1. So it's kind of looking similar, as the Blues were up 9-0. The Blues are up 7-0 here in the top of the 4th. As that's going to be a high fly ball to left center,
Getting out.
and it's going to be off the bottom of the fence, and we'll score 2 for a stand-up double for Harris. So the A's are on the board, making the score 7-2 for the Blues up.
The catcher.
And yeah, as you were saying, the A's, they don't give up no matter what the score is. So we're expecting, although it was 7-0, we're expecting still maybe a close game here this evening.
And now this will bring up Morgan Wilkins, the catcher for the A's. He flied out to Marquis Williams, as that's going to be in there for called strike 1. I think Ty Clark does a good job at, staying around the zone, but there are a couple pitches where, might get away from him a little bit. But for the most part, he does a great job at making it close, and as that just misses for ball 1.
Not quite sure where that one was, but
And
like we said, tight zone today.
as we talk about, many times, an umpire's zone can, as that's going to be low and in for ball 2. But umpire's zone can definitely differentiate between batters. Obviously, if you have a taller guy, you might have a higher zone. If you have a shorter guy, you might have a shorter zone. So it all depends on the batter, which is going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2, making the Deuces run wild here in the top of the 4th.
RJ Harvey, he can punt. He's good.
Jack Harris is on second with his RBI double that hit the bottom of the fence in left center. And that's going to be a high
Yeah, that's a question
pop
mark, but I'm
pop fly that will be caught by Colden Howerton, 2 in the top of the 4th for the A's. But they are able to score 2 and making the score 7-2 for the Blues. And we'll be right back into action leading into the bottom of the 4th.
Hitting off the bottom of the fourth.
We have a new pitcher here in the bottom of the fourth. It will be Garrison Martin, a right-handed pitcher for the A's, as that is in there for called strike one for Maverick Rockers as we head to the top of the lineup for the A's. And Garrison Martin is actually from the same place that Keyser is from, as that's a line drive to right center, and we'll be down, and looks like Rockers is going to dig for two, and is going to dig for three.
Wow.
And we'll be there as the ball hits the bottom of his cleat, and that's going to be a leadoff triple for Maverick Rockers.
This Blues team really has some speed on the base path. I mean, and they're aggressive. Like, he turned that second base hard. He knew he was going to third. I almost want to say off that, but
Yeah, there was no doubt that he was turning and burning.
yeah, great hit there.
Like I was saying before, Garrison Martin is from the same town that Keyser is from, as the first pitch for Brennan Johnson is out and away for ball one. Obviously, I mean, we're seeing a little more velo here, as that's low for ball two.
A little bit more velo, a little bit more size. I also like his windup. It almost gives me like old time vibes. Like I don't know, but I like it.
They almost step back instead to the side, as that's
Right.
a pop fly to shallow left field. And Maverick Rockers is going to tag, but he's going to kind of stutter, I'd say, a third way there and make his way back. But the throw was on line, just maybe a little shallow, so he might have made it there.
Yeah, he's laughing there. I think he knows that he messed that one up a little bit. I think he just tripped on the base path, and you know that's going to happen, especially with the dirt and grass infield.
And obviously, there's no problem with not trying to score because there's only one out in the inning. And that'll be a breaking ball that's just going to miss for ball one for Andrew Brubeck. And that's going to be inside for ball two. I think we're starting to see a little difference, though, because obviously it looks like Martin almost has a three-quarters like we were talking about in games prior. How the different variations in pitching as well.
Yeah.
As that's going to make some chin music for Brubeck, making the count 3-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. And that'll be in there for call strike one. And like you were saying about, obviously, Vale's, or one of the players' swings, how it's so relaxed and everything, that's as there's a line drive to Blake Veneman that's going to take a hop and he's going to grab it, but in time to make the play for Brubeck, but that will score Maverick Rockers to make the score 8-2.
Great play by Veneman there. That was kind of stylish too.
The first baseman,
Yes, he does carry, a little spiff in his game.
Yeah,
so
that had some flair to it for sure.
he makes the nice and clean cut plays. But like I was saying, he looks very relaxed up there on the mound, and carries himself super clean as that gets away for ball one. Kendall Rivero up at the plate. And that'll be high for ball two, as that traveled right over the bill of his helmet. And that'll be in there for called strike one. Garrison Martin is from Coffeyville Community College, which I know a couple people that attend there for baseball, as that is a foul ball for strike two, making the Deuces run wild here in the bottom of the fourth.
Obviously looking to protect here, keep this inning going with 2 outs. Well, let's see what happens here.
It looked like a little bit of a change-up.
Yeah, great change-up
will be
there.
a swing and a miss for Kendall Rivero to finish out the bottom of the fourth. And the Blues were able to tag one more run on, so obviously still not an inning where they... So obviously not an inning where they're not held scoreless. But that will make the score 8-2, and we'll be right back with the top of the fifth.
For the popcorn,
It's now It's now time for the popcorn race as Kion Gus and Jaden Ford will be racing here on the first base side for the Blues. And obviously between innings there are a couple of mini games, but they decided to put two players
on your mark. Get set.
up to the race as they both sprint off, and they have to put on a t-shirt, shorts, and hat as Ford is able to get an early lead and is kind of struggling to put on those shorts as Gus is just now getting his shorts on and puts them on like a boss and is now getting the hat on and dragging the little vacuum, and Ford is right behind him, but it looks like it's going to be... And whoever high fives,
our winner,
I guess it's going to be Kion Gus for the win. These are not really as organized as we would like, but they're still fun to have, and especially with Blues players, there's even more fun. But now that tunes us right back into the action as Aiden Morgan will lead off the top of the fifth for the A's.
Number 11, Aiden Morgan.
And Morgan popped out to Ty Clark his last at bat. This will be the second time through the lineup, and that'll be called strike one as Morgan showed bunt but did not lay one down.
Great pitch there. That almost looked like a slider. I don't know if he just slowed down his fastball a little bit there, but great pitch.
That's going to be high for ball one for Morgan.
Oh, it was a... No, it wasn't a KU burner. It was a...
That's going to be a high foul ball right behind us to make the count 1-2 here in the top of the fifth.
Good spot to jam the batter there. 1-2. Definitely an aggressive pitch here coming.
And as you know, you progress through your time in playing baseball, it's really easy to swing at those high pitches. So as Arocha makes a diving grab for an outside pitch to make the count even at 2 for Morgan. That's going to be a fly ball to center field, and Marquis Williams will make the grab. As you know, we continue to see how many Marquis can make. As I believe,
second baseman, number 5, Blake Veneman.
That's his 5th catch of the night, as that will bring up Blake Veneman for the top of the lineup for the A's.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to say about the A's, I feel like they are putting the bat on the ball. Like, they're getting a lot of hard hits, but like you said, a lot of them are just going straight to Marquis Williams, and he's tracking them down as well.
So that's going to be high for ball one.
But a lot of these baseballs that they're hitting have some velo on them.
Yes. Obviously, both teams have the power to show and can produce runs, but that is just going to miss Veneman for ball 2, as it might have just hit him on the little elbow guard.
I was thinking that a little bit, but it looks like he wants to hit.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that, as that is going to be high for ball 3. As we talk about always, and we keep bringing this up every time they both come up, but Blake Veneman and Brandon Johnson are both you know, adamant guys about, you know, staying disciplined but also battling when they need to. And that's going to be a 4-pitch walk for Vitamin to put a runner on with 1 out here.
Not a base runner you want with that speed that Vitamin has, but, you know, Ty Clark is a lefty, so he's able to probably keep him a little bit closer than he usually is. So should be okay. We'll see what happens here with this AB.
And obviously we're getting into the 3rd round of the lineup. So you might start catching on to things
Absolutely.
with a pitcher.
Right.
That's going to be outside for ball 1 for Evan Johnson.
Might start seeing a few more swings from the A's just because it's the third time around here.
And that's going to be in there for call strike 1, making the count 1-1 for
Great
Evan
spot
Johnson.
there.
Yeah, it was a good game. Yeah, but you were I had Ames socks at games. But I went there.
Vitamin trying to make a little action while Ty Clark staring at him, and that's going to be high and away for ball 2. As we talk about, you know, with most players, again, we're bringing up Brennan Johnson and Blake Vitamin, but they both like to, you know, toy with the pitcher a little bit and create a little distraction, as Blake Vitamin didn't seem to get as good of a jump as he would hope, and so he's going to remain at first.
Yeah, when you have speed in the base path, it really can get in the pitcher's head and take his attention from the batter, obviously. So we'll see how Ty Clark can respond.
Ty Clark does have a good slide step, as that's going to be high for ball 4. And that'll put runners at first and second here for Drew Reskis in the top of the 5th.
2 walks here for Ty Clark. I'm taking a deep breath. I'm looking in the left field. I'm looking at the score, and I'm remembering it's 8-2. You know, we still have this. This is still my game to win, and I'm taking a deep breath and calming down.
Drew Reskis having some power at the plate. Obviously, looking at Ty Clark, I've watched him play for it, and Vitamin's going to go, and he's going to be safe, as it looked like Kate Adams might have missed the tag a little bit, and so will Evan Johnson. So that puts runners in scoring position here with 1 out for, sorry, my apologies, yes, for Drew Reskis. It's going to be a pop fly to the third baseman, Kate Adams, for the Blues, and that, you know, that I think that creates a form of less stress relieved, knowing that he was able to get
The shortstop, 0.
a pop fly or a pop out to the third baseman, Kate Adams, just to, you know, only have 1 out to go for, and now a pop fly, a ground out, strikeout, anything really will shut out the little mojo they have going for the A's.
Yeah, and like you said, that just creates a little bit more calmness for Clark there now that there's 2 outs, because there was trouble there for a second. There still might be, but now that there's 2 outs, looking better.
Because that is not going to get it for ball 1. The count is 1-1 for Landon Vale. That's going to be a foul ball right behind us to make the count 1-2, and now all of a sudden Ty Clark is 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
I'm thinking off speed here, low, getting them to chase, but hopefully we can get a good block here by our catcher.
That's going to be right down the pipe, but Landon Vale will foul it off straight back once again to keep the at-bat alive.
Who is playing on this team? This is like guys.
For what age is it?
This is their national team, I think.
But there's a couple. There's teenage groups.
I don't think there is one.
It's going to be a high ball into the infield, and it looks like Maverick Rockers will make the grab to end the top of the 5th, which is exactly what Ty Clark wanted.
Great job by Clark there by staying disciplined and not, getting in his head when he sees those runners on. He really did a great job of just getting control of that inning.
I'd agree, and we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back for the bottom of the fifth. And we are back into the action for the bottom of the fifth, as Cade Adams will start off for the Blues.
Number 18, Cade Adams.
Adams hit a double in the third, and that's going to give him some chin music as he shakes that off, a little in disbelief for ball one here in the bottom of the fifth.
8-2 here. Blues still trying to tag on some insurance runs.
As Martin shook his head in disbelief there for ball two, as that was a nice little slider that started in and stayed in. And Cade Adams loves that inside stuff.
Yeah,
as
that was a hack.
Healthy hack to make the count 2-1. And he's going to take another healthy hack inside, and I think Martin's just trying to feed that inside, knowing that Cade's really loves that inside cheddar.
Yeah, he could be standing on first right now. He hasn't thrown a strike.
And that's going to be a little change-up.
Great pitch.
That will get Cade Adams for strike three.
Yeah, pretty aggressive there by the pitcher of the A's.
And that'll be Martin's first strikeout of the night. For his appearance, and that brings up Colton Howerton. Obviously, I think that's a good pitch variation, though. Good sequence. Obviously, feeding that inside and then going in the middle and
with the changeup.
As that's gonna be a two-seam high for ball one for Howerton.
Yeah, if I'm Howerton, I'm thinking let's watch a strike.
That's gonna be outside for ball two, and I would agree with you, Nick, as obviously, like you said, he hasn't thrown a strike.
Yeah, he got the strikeout, but it was from swings,
And I'm not sure if that changeup would have caught that top of the zone, but that's going to be inside for ball three. And all of a sudden, Martin goes from being ahead of the count in the previous batter with Adams to being behind in the count early. As Howerton shows bunt, and it's going to be in there for called strike one.
Yeah, these Blues players, they really like to throw the pitcher off, especially when there's three balls, and I think that's a good play.
That's going to be low for ball four, and puts a runner on with one out here in the top of the fifth.
The shortstop, number 11, Logan Groh.
This will bring up Logan Groh, the shortstop for the Blues, as he has hit a single today. He is 1 for 2 and hit a grounder to the shortstop. As a little back pick action from Wilkins will not be there, as I think he might have hit his knee on the throw or got stuck in the dirt, and Howerton will be safe at first. Groh has a very wide stance as Howerton will go, and the throw by Wilkins will be on the left side of the bag, and so that will allow Howerton to be safe at second, and now putting Howerton in scoring position for Groh. Groh does have a pretty wide stance. But
Yeah, very open as well.
yes, and I think that can be an issue, or that can be
Yeah.
positive for a lot of batters. And that's going to be a two-seam high inside for ball 3. For
Yeah.
Logan Grove.
Like you were saying, with that open stance, it might make it a little harder to chase those outside corners. But if you throw an inside fastball, that ball can get mashed.
As that is right down the pipe for call strike 1. The Blues have definitely taken an advantage of these right-handed pitchers, as Howerton is almost halfway, and no attempt, as that's a ground ball right down the middle, and Grove will be out at first, but it was a tough play for Vitamin as it was a liner while he was covering the bag at second. He kind of
The catcher, number
took a little bit,
13,
maybe a little bit of a
Austin
bobble, but was able to
Rocha.
compose himself and make the play,
Great job on just staying with it, not giving up on the play.
as it was a bang-bang play for sure.
Hard hit ball.
At my high school, we would say that is a quality at-bat for a hard hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be in there for call strike 1 for Austin Arocha. Arocha is 0 for 1 as Howerton is stealing home and will be safe.
Wow. What an aggressive play. I mean,
And it is not every day that you see that.
Oh,
folks.
yeah.
As he just gets the jump of a lifetime, and we're waiting to receive if that was a pitch thrown or that was. It's going to be 1-1 the count. So that will be a pitch thrown. That was a ball, and Howerton will score, making this score 9-2 for the Blues here in the bottom of the 5th.
and like we've been preaching, that just goes to show how aggressive these Blues players can be. They were up 8-2 before that play, and they still want to tag on these runs in these late innings, and that just goes to show they're here to win.
As that's going to be a line drive to left field and caught.
So a
By
great
Aiden
steal home
Morgan.
there, because that would have been a no score if he didn't steal. So
Yes. It's a quick inning for the Blues, but they are able to tag one on with
Would now like to thank
Colin
Baldwin City
Howerton
Dental.
making his moves around the bases, obviously stealing first and getting to third, and then stealing home for the Blues to tag one more on. The score will be 9-2, and we will be back with the action here in the top of the 6th. We are back in the action with the top of the sixth, and we have a pitching change for the Blues as Caleb Welshire will be pitching for the Blues here in the top of the sixth. As that will be in there for called strike one for Aiden Blackovich. And a fly ball to left field
Tough play.
will be foul, just foul. And Brennan Johnson wasn't getting to it, but he was going to get there quick if it was fair. And Welshire, a native of Topeka, Kansas, and will be entering his sophomore season at Barton Community College. Welshire does have some velo on him, but will be interesting to see how the A's will deal with that. That's going to be inside for ball one, making the count 1-2. Blackowitz is 1 for 2 tonight with a single. And that will be low for ball two. The sun is slowly starting to go down, and the lights are out here in Baldwin City. But that will be strike three for Blackowitz as Welshire starts off quick and early with a strikeout for the first out of the top of the sixth.
I'm going to say that pitch right there might have been the best pitch of the day. That curveball was gross, and he got him there. Welshire is a very powerful load, and I think that is that can sometimes be intimidating as a hitter, but great pitch there by Welshire.
You can usually accumulate a lot of, that's in there for strike one. You can usually gain a lot of momentum and a lot of velo through your legs.
Yes.
As a lot of pitching coach and pitchers will say.
Yeah, he really brings it up, which I think helps him with his velo.
And that will be just low for ball one, making the count 1-1.
He said, okay, guys, I'm deleting everything comes up. Shohei Ohtani has been banned for life.
Wassinger is up to bat and hits a ground ball to the second baseman, Maverick Rockers, and will make the play in time for out number two.
Hard hit ball there. Great play by the second baseman. Welshire showing that he's very disciplined right now. Staying relatively close to the zone.
Number 19,
Even his misses are close.
And if you haven't noticed yet, the Blues have done a little bit of a uniform change with the cutoff sleeves of their cotton jersey, not the dry fit one, but the cotton jersey, as that is a spinner left high for ball one.
What are your thoughts on the uniform change for the game today?
You know, as that is just low for ball two. You know, it gives me Ricky Vaughn vibes.
Oh yeah.
You know, good old Major League movie. But up there with him, with Welshire shoving some extra cheddar, as that is in there for ball or strike one. It does give me some Ricky Vaughn vibes, as maybe he should have the haircut and the glasses. That's going to be a liner right past Cade Adams, and it will be a base hit for Jack Harris here in the top of the sixth to see if the A's can get something going late or midway through the game.
Luckily, there's 2 outs, so I wouldn't be too worried here if I'm Welshire. I'm just focusing on the batter.
This will bring up Morgan Wilkins,
Morgan Wilkins.
but I think it could play a little bit of a role with his change in velo, as if the A's are able to keep up with it, it can produce a lot of runs and a lot of hits.
Oh yeah.
So with his command, as that's a kind of half swing or 3/4 swing that Wilkins wasn't sure if he wanted to go or not. That will be strike number 1. And that'll be inside for ball number 1.
Because he's losing weight.
Yeah.
Harris is over at first, not with much of a lead off. But obviously seeing that Arocha has a pretty strong arm and Welshier's quick to the plate. As ball in the dirt, it was a nice breaking ball. Went between Wilkins' feet, but Harris will not attempt to steal.
Yeah, that was a good pitch there. Obviously off the zone, but definitely wanted to get him to chase there. He didn't chase it, but I like that pitch.
It's going to be a fly ball to left center, and we'll be off the bottom of the fence. Marquis Williams will throw it in, and will hold runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Great job. That ball was hit, hard and got to the gap quick. But great job by Marquis Williams by getting the ball in quick and not allowing a run to score. Because there's 2 outs, and so we're able to get out of this if we just get one more.
Yeah, talking about the speed of Marquis Williams, obviously, he can catch a lot of fly balls that maybe shouldn't be caught, but he also can get to a lot of balls that are lined through the gaps. So that is one thing to put, as there is also a ton of speed in the outfield for the Blues with Brennan Johnson and Marquis Williams out there covering that left side, and Colin Howerton covering that right side. That ball is in the dirt for ball 1 for Aiden Morgan.
And yeah, like you were saying, Marquis Williams definitely a difference maker in this game. If we don't have him, I don't know. I'm not sure what the score could be because he has so many outs in this game, racked up.
As we have counted, it's been 5 that he's been a part of to make an out, as that is in there for call strike 1. Yeah. He has definitely been a difference maker, but we will see if Welshier can get out of this little pickle that he has gotten himself in, as that is a ground ball to Cade Adams, as he's going to make the throw and in time to once again get out of another pickle for the Blues, where the A's definitely could have racked on some runs there, but left 2 on, remaining the score at 9-2 here, and we will be going into the bottom of the 6th after this short break. We are back here for the bottom of the 6th, as Marquis Williams will lead off the Blues. Lead off for the Blues. Obviously, he's got a lot of defensive plays, but we can see if he is able to stack onto his offensive plays, as he has a single tonight, but also a ground ball to first. That's going to be in there for called strike one.
Yeah, I like Marquis Williams leading off this inning. You know, I think he'd be a great leadoff. When he puts the ball in play, it's definitely trouble with that speed.
As that's a nice, healthy cut for Williams, and will be an early 0-2 count. And it's going to be another changeup, and will fool Williams with a swing and a miss to get Martin's second strikeout of the night.
Welsh's changeup has really worked today. He's getting it in the right spot.
I mean Martin.
Martin. My apologies.
As that is going to be high and in for ball one for Maverick Rockers. And right over Rocker's head, and Martin points out that it probably slipped out of his hands, making the count 2-0. Yeah, I would like to agree with you on that one, Nick. His command with his changeup has been great, as that one is spiked to the outside, so he's kind of working both ways on the wild pitches, but that will be 3-0 count for Rockers. It almost gives me like a Waka for the Royals, and that's going to be a quick 4-pitch walk for Maverick Rockers, as we will see what happens with that with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. It almost seems like it's kind of like the Royals, where there's a lot of guys that are really getting consistent with their changeup, and it's becoming a big crucial part of the game.
Yeah.
So for him to get the command of a changeup that early is going to be very beneficial for him.
Yeah, obviously as a pitcher, you want to try to get that changeup low and get the batter to chase, and Martin's done a great job of that.
And that's going to be in there for called strike one for Brennan Johnson. Johnson is 0 for 3 tonight with 2 groundouts and a flyout. That's a swing and a miss for strike 2. They're going to count 0-2 early, and hoping, and Martin hoping to get the second out of the inning and 1 out closer to getting out of this mess. That's going to be a foul ball right behind us to keep the count at 0-2. This will be Martin's third inning out on the bump for the A's. And as we talked about numerous times, summer ball can be, is that ball's going to get away low, and Maverick Rockers will advance to second. As we talked about, summer ball is a time where either you can stretch out your pitch count, or you can see how effective you can be in 1 inning or 2 innings. But obviously the A's trying to figure out how well Martin's going to be in this length of an inning. That's going to be fouled off to the first base side towards the Blues dugout, and the count will remain at 1-2. That's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman, Drew Oreskes, but with Johnson's speed, it's going to be hard to run that out, especially if Martin just threw a pitch and isn't well aware that the ball's going to go to the right side.
Yeah, Johnson with a great AB there. Really fought hard there and was able to hit an off speed there and put it, give it to the first baseman, but not giving them a chance to get the out.
That will put runners at the corners for Andrew Brubeck. Yeah, they're going to try and pick off back to first, but not in time, as Johnson will be safe. He might try and do some tomfoolery again, as that's going to be in there for called strike one for Brubeck. There's a lot of, like we said, in the small ball, there's a lot of different elements, and one thing that Johnson's really done great about is doing the delayed steal, where you shuffle 3 times and then take off, and you won't see it as common in other times, where Johnson's going to go, like we said, and again, Johnson will be safe. As, I mean, I just talked about the delayed steal, but there it is, where you take a couple shuffles and then you just start going on your horse. But that will make the count 0-2 for Andrew Brubeck.
I don't hate him. He says some weird things, but he's...
And that's going to be a breaking ball that Brubeck's going to foul off towards the right side. And within baseball as a whole, first and third variations of you can either throw straight back to the pitcher, try and get the guy off third to jump, or throw straight down, or like they just did, is that's inside 4-1. You can fake the throw down and try and see if the guy off third jumps, but or you can even chuck it down to, which they did prior, where Veneman jumped and made the catch and threw back home, as that is another foul ball to keep the at-bat alive. There's so many different variations to the first and third plays.
Oh, yeah.
But the A's have definitely showcased 2 or 3 of them here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my issue with Caleb isn't like a bad person. He just says a lot of shit. I can't like Josh and Johnson like this.
Yeah. Or like
Here's the pitch. And it's going to be a high 4-2 to even up the count at 2 for Brubeck.
The Blues really working these counts and working the pitch count, which I like.
So that's going to be in the dirt and behind Wilkins, and Maverick Rockers is going to score, as Rockers did not slide, and that was a pretty close play, but that makes the count full.
Yeah, I think he thought he had it a little bit easier than he did. I honestly did as well. But yeah, not stealing there, or not sliding there, but he was still safe.
Yeah, and there's a lot of umpires that might even, especially in the younger leagues or whatnot.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even call you out just because you didn't slide, because
a little bit of safety issue. They prefer you to slide in home.
That's going to be away for a walk.
And once again, that started off 0-2, so just going to show that these Blues really work the counts of these pitchers.
Yes, and now we'll bring up Kendall Rivero, first baseman for the Blues, as we have another first and third situation. Do you see Brubeck stealing here?
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially with the Blues and how aggressive they are.
I take that back. I don't think it's going to be Brubeck. It's actually going to be...
now pinch running for the Blues is number 8,
Jaden Ford, as he does play outfield, so he might have a little more speed than Brubeck, but now we almost do anticipate a steal, as that's going to be foul ball to the right side for strike number 1.
Yeah, that definitely makes me think that they want to be aggressive, putting in a runner, especially a fast one.
And Ford will be running, and the ball's going to be thrown in the dirt, and a good pick by Wilkins to not allow Johnson to score, but not even an attempt at trying to make another first and third play.
This could be some serious trouble for the A's here with 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
That's going to be high 4-2. Obviously, and like we talked about games, last night's game, how the Blues were up 9-2, and the A's were able to come back and make it 9-8 as a final score. And the ball's going to be in the dirt, but Wilkins not sure where it is, and Johnson's going to score, as well as Ford's going to advance to third, making the score 11-2 now here in the bottom of the 6th.
And that is 2 runs back-to-back off of passed balls. And, yeah, just adding to what we've been preaching, which is just the aggressiveness from the Blues.
10 after 7.
Okay, so yeah, let's do his next.
That's one wild pitch.
That was a wild pitch.
As that's going
So,
to
for
be
sure,
a swing and a
after
miss for Rivero to make the count full with 1 out.
Would love to put the ball in play here, even if it's an out, just to get that run scored.
Does look like the infield is in.
Mm-hmm. So they'll probably go home then.
And that's going to be in there for strike 3. It's a called third strike for Rivero. And
If it was Ritter, then I'm okay with that.
that'll be
The third baseman, number 18, Cade
that'll be
Adams.
Martin's third strikeout of the night.
Adams having a pretty good game tonight.
That will bring up Adams. He does have a double, and that's going to be a foul ball right behind us for an early strike 1.
But he's very accurate. If my one show me in front, he's currently driving cross country.
Adams does have a double tonight and is 1 for 3 with a strikeout and a pop out to left field. That's going to be another foul ball straight behind, making an early 0-2 count. We saw this in the at-bat before, or Adams' last at-bat, how aggressive Adams was to get those inside pitches. So I would anticipate Martin to keep feeding that inside and maybe putting a little slider or spinner action in there to keep it inside and see what happens as the pitch comes in. And it's going to be a swing and a miss to end the 6th inning, as once again the Blues are able to add another couple runs to their score, making the score 11-2, and we'll be right back leading into the top of the 7th. Alright, we are back into the action here for the top of the 7th, and like every Blues game seems to be, is there are loads of substitutions for the Blues, as that is in there for call strike 1 for Blake Veneman. I will get into those substitutions here soon. That is fouled off for an early 0-2 count for Veneman. So we will start in the infield as Kincaid has taken the place of Arocha behind the dish. We will have, as that is a nasty breaking ball that just misses low for ball 1.
Great pitch there. I'm surprised he didn't chase after that one, but he has great plate discipline, as you have discussed.
Yes. And that's going to be another breaking ball, but it's going to be in there for called strike 3. And not sure if Blake Veneman agreed with that one, but
Yeah.
he was able to talk it over with the home plate umpire and get his understanding. And that's going to be high and in for ball 1 for Evan Johnson.
And then just depending on if someone is replacing forward.
That's going to be a foul ball and caught by Ryan Cox right next to the Blues dugout. As I'm not sure the viewers could see, but everyone on the Blues team started screaming away from the dugout to allow Cox to make the catch.
Yeah.
But that is a great way to enter the game, as Grant Semblick will take the second position. As that is not in there for ball 1 for Drew Reskis.
Yeah, great play by Cox there. Definitely had some obstacles getting to that ball, but was still able to focus and make that play.
And pretty swervy breaking ball that's going to stay high for ball 2. We have Tyler Tamez at shortstop with a swing and a miss for Reskis to make the count 2-1. And then at third, we have Jackson Evans to finish off our infield substitutions. That's going to be a breaking ball that's going to catch the outside corner for strike number 2, making the count 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Then we move out to the outfield, as that's just going to miss inside to make the count full for Drew Reskis. And so on the outfield, we have Quinn Grobel to take the left field position, Kai and Gus to take the center field position, and that'll be a walk for Drew Reskis with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Now batting the shortstop, 0, Landon Vale.
And then for the right field position, we believe it's going to be Luis Comunes. So that will finish off the substitutions for the Blues. I'm sorry, that was a little scattered though, as that'll bring up Landon Vale with a runner on first with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think Welsh was just getting a little aggressive there with his pitching just because there's 2 outs, and I don't blame the guy.
So that's going to be high for ball 1 for Vale. But yeah, obviously, you can work on a couple things. With 2 outs, you have a little bit of wiggle room. But obviously, you still want to take care of business and attack the batter. So that's going to be low and away for ball 2.
Now I'm settling down. He definitely got a little excited there with 2 outs, nobody on, and I'm just trying to throw strikes now.
So that's going to be high for ball 3. As most of the Blues players would do a little rattle of the bat to, get in the pitcher's head a little bit, but the A's do not do so, as that's going to be in there for call strike 1. Pitch, and that will be outside for ball 4. So all of a sudden, it is a back-to-back walk for Welsh, putting runners at first and second with 2 outs, and giving the A's a little bit of hope here in the top of the 7th. not too bad as Aiden Blankowicz.
Not too hot, no. Because he's the one that's the...
He is 1 for 3 tonight with a strikeout and a single.
He's good. He's a good runner. Who's the one that... are you talking about the...
And that'll be fouled straight back for strike number
No,
1.
who's the one that... was it Miles that it's the whole, like... oh, like, NBA teams can't call themselves the world champions. Like, he was in last week.
Oh, yeah, it was him.
Yeah. Attention seemed to get hit by Travis Soto.
Yeah, he said, oh, wait.
And that breaking ball will not catch the outside corner, so it'll make the count 1-1. It's going to be a liner down the third base side, but will stay fair, or stay foul, my apologies, as Jackson Evans tried to make an attempt to catch that liner.
1-2. What are you doing here if you're Welshier?
I think Welshier has a good breaking ball, and he's been able to command it a good half of the time. So I think that would be a good option here, especially with one or two burn pitches. As he does that, it's going to be a ground ball to second for Semblick, and we'll make the play in the top of the 7th. And if many of the viewers don't remember, there is a run rule after 7 innings, and it will be a 10-run limit. So if the Blues do score 1 in the bottom of the 7th, that will conclude our game tonight. But we will get back into the action after this short break. We are back into the action with the bottom of the 7th, and like I was talking about before the break, if the Blues do score 1 here, that will conclude our game tonight, as the run rule would be in place. But to correct myself, we did say that Comunas was in right field, but it is actually Isaiah Garcia, and he takes a healthy hack for strike 1. Obviously, if you know, a nice little tank goes out to over the fence, that would conclude our game.
Great swing there.
So that's going to be a healthy hack for strike 2.
Yeah, 2 big swings. I'd shorten it up now that there's 2 strikes.
So that's going to be high for ball 1.
A little bit more velo, I think, from this guy than what we've seen today, and that is typically what happens when we get to the closers. But yeah, we'll see how he can do.
As that's going to be a spinner that's going to break in the dirt, and it's going to even the count at 2. And that's going to be a swing and a miss on the outer part of the zone for strike 3. And Jacob Ross will have his first strikeout of the evening
Number 16, Tyler
to start off
Tamez.
the bottom of the 7th. After that strikeout by Garcia, it will bring up Tamez. Sorry, Tyler Tamez. So that's going to be low 4 ball 1. That's going to be in there for called strike 3, or called strike 3, strike 1 on the outer third. And like you said, the velo change is obviously very crucial, but that can also come with some inconsistencies, as that's a beautiful breaking ball that just goes across the whole zone, but not able to catch a corner.
Great pitch.
Puts the count at 2-1 for Tyler Tamez.
Oh,
And that's going to hit Tamez. And he does have an elbow guard, but I mean, that's still going to sting with that amount of velo.
Yeah.
So he's going to shake that off, and
The
that
catcher, number
puts
6, Elijah
a Blues
Kincaid.
base runner 90 feet closer to ending this game.
yeah, with a little bit more velo, if I'm the Blues, I'm thinking shorter swings here. Let's put the ball in play.
As that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1 for Kincaid. It's going to be Kincaid's first at bat of the evening. And that'll be a foul ball for an early strike, or strike 2. The pitch comes, and it's going to be a slider that slides way outside, which in some cases can be good because obviously, you know, people chase, but with that one being a little too far out, Kincaid is able to stay back. And that's going to be another slider coming across the zone that's going to hang outside, and it's going to even the count at 2.
That was close there.
That was pretty close. I thought for sure that might have been a rung-up pitch. But,
Yeah, me as well.
So it's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that'll be Ross's second strikeout of the evening, making it nice and quick. And that'll bring up Kyan Gus to see if he can
The
get
center
something
fielder,
going
number 2,
here in the
Kyan
bottom
Gus.
of the 7th with 2 outs. And Gus is going to do a little check swing on himself, but followed through just a little too much for strike 1. And obviously, as you get to a higher level and you get to more velo, as that'll be in there for call strike 2, it gets harder and harder to hold back a swing.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you got to make a split decision with a blink of an eye, especially in the MLB, whether you're going to swing or not. And so those check swings become very crucial on your discipline. It's going to be foul ball. And we have one guy in the booth that had a little bit of a flinch check. So start the counter late in the game. And that'll be number 2 for him on the season. As I am still at 1. And Joe, what are you at? 4.
I had 1 last night.
And he had 4. So, and that's going to be a swing and a miss for Kai and Gus. So Ross comes out and delivers with 3 strikeouts to sit down 3 Blues players when they needed it most. And the score will be 11-2. But like we said, that run rule is still put in place as long as the Blues are able to hold them. And it looks like Welshier is going to come out for another inning.
And I like that because he's been pitching pretty well.
I agree. So we will take a little break, and we will come back for the top of the 8th. We are back in the action for the top of the 8th, and this will bring up number 24, the designated hitter for the A's tonight, Easton Wassinger. Wassinger has a double in the first and has nothing since, as that's going to be a high for ball 1.
And as we've said, these A's don't give up. Last night they were down big in the late innings, so don't be surprised if we see a little late comeback.
That is going to be upstairs for ball 2. And I think, Welshier is, got that velo, but it also can come with a little control issue, but he's able to get it down for strike number 1. Now that's going to be a pop fly into the infield, and it's going to drop as Welshier was kind of calling for it, but a little bit of confusion once again for the Blues as
the center fielder, number
as
19,
Tamez
Jack Harris.
came in to try and help call Welshier off, but not in time. So they will have a runner on first. The A's will have a runner on first with no outs here in the top of the 8th. And that'll be a dead ball for Aiden Morgan. Or, sorry, not Aiden Morgan. Jack Harris.
Yeah, not what you want to see if you're a Blues player. in there, and then one pitch walk. So,
and that'll be Jack Harris's second hit by pitch, as Jax Marn will come up to pitch hit for Morgan Wilkins. Martin has made a couple appearances for the A's, and this almost seems like a week-long journey against the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And has had some success, as that's going to be just high for ball one. The pitch is going to be fouled off straight back to make the count 1-1 for Jax Martin. This is going to be crucial for the A's, Nick, as if they do score, it brings a little bit of cushion to just stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be a breaking ball. It's going to stay inside for the second ball of the at-bat.
No, I mean, we've seen the Blues have a little bit of issues with those tough pop flies when it's like could be the pitcher's ball, but also could be someone else's. So something to keep in mind for sure this season.
That is that is outside for ball three, making the count 3-1. But that is the second time that it has happened tonight. One in right center between Howerton and Williams, and then now between Welshier, as that's going to be low for ball four, and that's going to load the bases for the A's, keeping it alive. And I think there's some action that's about to happen in the Blues dugout, in the Blues bullpen. And looks like the pitching coach for the Blues is going to come out and have a little talk with Welshier. All right, Nick, here's our daily talk.
Mm-hmm.
What is going to be talked about in this little huddle?
Honestly, pretty much what I usually say here. We got bases loaded, 0 outs. He's been pitching pretty well. I'd give him a little bit of a leash, not a short leash, a little bit though. I'd probably give him 2 more batters. But he's shown us that he can come back from these situations this game.
And the Blues are notorious for getting out of pickles.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think there's definitely room where Welshier can deal and get a double play out of this.
Absolutely.
I anticipate the corners coming in and the middle infielders to stay back and double play depth. But it looks like they're just going to play standard as the pitch comes, and it's going to hit off the knob, and it's almost going to be fair. But that will be there for strike one for Aiden Morgan.
I think the reasoning for not bringing the corners in here is because, yes, they obviously want to have a mercy rule, but I think they're way more focused on just getting a win because of the A's almost coming back last night.
And that's a pretty well hooking breaking ball, and is not going to be in there for strike two, but will be hanging inside for ball one. So it's going to be a chopper to third, and Evans is going to step on third, and it's not going to be able to make the play at first, and Ryan Cox will have to jump off the bag to make the snag. But the run does count, so the score will be 11-3
The second baseman, number 5,
for the Blues.
Veneman.
And all of a sudden now you have a good heads-up play by Evans to just step on the bag and try and go to first, but a little hesitation because he wasn't sure where to make the play at. And
right
now runners will be on first and second with 1 out, so a double play will get you out of it, and that'll be fouled back for strike number one for Blake Veneman.
No, I agree, though. I think that stepping on the bag there was the smart play. He could have thrown it home to not allow a run, but that's just dangerous, and we don't need to be dangerous when we're up 11-3. Just play smart and take this game slow because it is late in the game.
And this was kind of a stupid comment by me, but, you know, trying to turn 2 on someone as fast as Blake Vinneman, as that is a fly ball to left field, and it's going to be caught for the second out as Quinn Grobel will make the grab to get the second out, and
The third baseman,
that's
number
probably
22,
one of the
Evan
best case
Johnson.
scenarios
Oh, yeah.
you can have, is to not have that speedy element of Blake Vinneman on the bases and to put it in left field, therefore no one's going to tag.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a breaking ball in the dirt, but a great block by Kincaid, and was able to block it right in front of him, but I think he thought it might have bounced elsewhere, as that's going to bring up Evan Johnson, making the count 1-0. That's going to be a fastball outside for ball 2. Johnson has only walked to get on base today. The rest have been a variation, as that is in there for called strike 1.
Yeah, and if now there's 2 outs, and if the Blues can get out of this, that'll just go to show that, you know, even with the bases loaded, 0 outs, they can really get out there with only 1 or 2 runs scored.
He's going to show pickoff, and I'm not sure what Welsher was thinking, as Grant Semblick was looking at Marn on the base, and Welsher threw it back, but Semblick was kind of oblivious to what he was doing, and so Semblick went to go grab and throw it back to Welsher. That's going to be a line drive to left center, and Martin's going to be running home, as Harris is going to hold. Aiden Morgan is going to hold off at third, but Evan Johnson will be safe at second. So an RBI double for Johnson, and here's a rally that we've been talking about for a little bit.
Here come the A's.
So the score will be 11-4, but manager Tanner Kilmer will come out to the mound, and I believe they are going to make a pitching change for the Blues. There are 2 outs, so obviously they got somewhere, but
right.
I mean, with Welsher's velo obviously tends to come in a lot more line drives and a lot more.
Yeah.
But it also comes with strikeouts if he can locate correctly and get the job done. And he did good.
Oh yeah, he did great.
You know, he went, I believe, 3 innings. So.
No, he pitched great. He did his job. That's what I'll say. Did a job. How many runs did he allow? 2, 3?
I believe he allowed 2.
Yeah. So you love that.
Lightning. And now pitching for the Blues will be Luis Comunez, as we thought he was in right field, but it happened to be Isaiah Garcia. So
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Blues from Allen County Community College, number 9, Luis Comunez.
Comunez is from Allen County Community College, as we have a handful of Blues that are from Allen County.
What's the county seat of Allen County?
As there are 6 Allen County players on this Blues roster, including the catcher Elijah Kincaid. So at one point they might be throwing partners in college, as Kincaid is entering his sophomore year at Allen County.
Well, the other one's they have a count.
Luis Comunez is from Kansas City, Kansas, and every time Kansas City, Kansas is mentioned, it's
batting
it's
for
been a
the
recent
A's.
debate about
The
the
first baseman,
Royals
number 7,
Mhm.
Drew Oreskes.
ballpark where it's going to be located, as there are still talks about whether it's going to be located in Missouri or Kansas. And this brings up Drew Oreskes with the first pitch being a ball. Runners at second and third here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, or top of the 8th, as that's a swing and a miss for strike one, making the count 1-1. Drew Oreskes does have some power, so obviously don't want to leave him anything. He can, as that's going to be a grounder to second, and not in time. Drew Oreskes will be safe, and Aiden Morgan will score, making the score 11-5 now. So they're slowly inching their way, and we'll put runners at first and third with 2 outs still.
The shortstop 0, Landon Vale.
Brings up Landon Vale now to the plate. That's going to be a high 4, ball 1.
Doesn't Junction City have 2 different camp? Like, don't they have Cloud and I know they get a big.
And that's going to be in there for strike 1.
Yeah, if I'm the Blues here, I'm just trying to stay calm, realizing that we're still up 6, and it's a late inning, so there's 2 outs. Just try to get it out here.
That's going to be a ground ball to third base, Jackson Evans, and he's going to throw across the diamond in time to retire Landon Vale, and that will end the long and costly inning for the Blues, as they do score 3 in that inning, and that will put the score at 11-5, and we will take a short break going into the bottom of the 8th. We are back in the action for the bottom of the 8th, as the A's were able to gain a couple runs in the top of the 8th, 3 to be exact. And we do have a new pitcher on the bump, as that is outside for ball 1. It is indeed Jason Black, and that's going to hit Simblick. As the Blues will have their first runner on.
The left fielder, number 7,
And
Quinn Grobel.
Grobel comes up to hit, and obviously it's been known that this guy has some power, as he has 2 home runs on the year. One of them being 2 nights ago, where it was gone. But one thing that we do notice is with the substitution of Jax Martin behind the dish and Jason Black on the mound, they both wear the number 37. So they got to have some 37 chemistry there, as that is a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, with the A's having a pretty good inning last inning, as a Blues player, you're just thinking even more insurance, especially now that they have a little bit of momentum going into the 9th.
Yeah, the morale is definitely up for the A's, and maybe a little low for, as that is a high fly ball to left field.
That's high.
And is going to be caught, and Simblick will go back to first. Oh, okay. And in the designated hitter position, there will be a substitution as well, as Hudson Ivy will take the place of Brubeck, that was subbed in, that Jaden Ford was subbed in for him as a pitch runner, and then Hudson Ivy came in for the next at-bat here. And that looked like a changeup. It's kind of interesting. Jason Black does have a interesting arm slot, I would say. Not the most ideal, but obviously there's a lot of different variations to this game, as Simblick will be running and will be out. Great tag by Blake Veneman, as we talk about his athleticism, how he's able to catch it, and I think he actually tags Simblick on the cleat.
Yeah, he got him on the cleat there, just barely. Great tag.
So that will make 2 outs for the Blues here in the bottom of the 8th. The count is 1-1 for Hudson Ivy. That ball is going to be outside for ball 2, making the count 2-1. Here comes the pitch. And that's going to be in there, catching the outside corner for strike number 2. So the Deuces run wild for Hudson Ivy.
I like Ivy's stance. It almost looks like Mike Trout with his hands back like that.
As Ivy's definitely, like you said, just going to put his hands to the ball. And it almost gives me a Bobby Witt.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially with his practice swing just there.
Yeah.
How Bobby Witt doesn't really swing all the way through.
Yeah.
He
really tries to rotate.
Right.
You know,
and
with
get
his hips.
that bottom elbow through. As that's going to be outside for ball 3, making the count full. Hudson Ivy does have a lot of speed, and usually does play outfield, but in this position he is going to be the designated hitter. And that is going to be inside for ball 4. So a little sign of light for the Blues, and hopefully a little morale boost as well to go into the 9th inning as well.
The first baseman, number 32, Ryan Cox.
Ryan Cox up to bat now, taking the place of Kendall Rivero. And if you're Ivy here, do you steal, or do you just want to make a safe call and just stay there? Obviously shown that Simblick was thrown out.
I think, I don't know. I think that staying put isn't a horrible idea, but, stealing always can get in the pitcher's head a little bit if you're safe.
And it could be a big boost of morale for each, as that's a throw back, and Hudson Ivy there with plenty of time. And it could be a big morale boost for either team. Obviously, the hype for throwing someone out, or the hype of stealing a bag off someone that just threw out your teammate. And that's going to be high for ball 2 for Ryan Cox. It if the lights weren't on here in Baldwin City, it would be pitch black. As you don't really see much of anything out there. It almost seems like there's a storm brewing, as that's a high foul ball. We're trying to see if it's going to stay in play, and it will not. So that will be strike one for Cox, making the count 2-1. I think also, like we had talked about previously with the different velos of a pitcher, you obviously want faster velos, as that is a ground ball to the shortstop, and they're going to make the play at second for a fielder's choice to end the inning for the Blues. So they are scoreless in this half inning, and we will go into the ninth with the last chance of hope for the A's to put on some runs and make a comeback here. We'll be right back. We are back in the action for the top of the ninth, where we will see if the Midwest A's can make their solid attempt at making a comeback here. When the score is 11-5, the Blues are up. And up on the mound, we have a pitching change. Is going to be Dane or Muskerkin. As that is going to be low for ball one for Ian Blankowitz. And Ormuskin goes to school at Ottawa University. That is about 20 minutes away from Baker University. And that is going to be high for ball two.
Yeah, if I'm the Blues here, I'm just thinking, let's throw strikes. Let's get out of this game. You know, let them put it in play.
And that's going to be in the dirt for ball three. So an early 3-0 count for Blankowitz.
I'm assuming since they are down big, he has the green light to swing here. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I think either way, it gets a base runner on, but the green light, obviously, as that's going to be high for ball four. So I guess it does not really matter for the green light. But obviously there's two sides to the story. Either you get a base runner, or you could potentially get more, or you could potentially get less. So
absolutely.
If you're the A's, I can't see them not wanting a base runner.
Oh yeah.
The more the merrier. As this will bring up their designated hitter, Easton Wassinger. So that's going to be high for ball one.
Yeah, he's He's throwing some high ones. If I'm him, I'm thinking finish down a little bit more. Obviously, that is definitely easier said than done.
Amen to that. As that's going to be a high foul ball right behind us, and that will put the count at even ones. Comes the pitch, and Wassinger just turned on that pitch.
Yeah.
I think that was about to hit him, and he turned it quite literally, probably 90.
Are you saying is it fair? It's gone. Is that
it's gone?
That ball was hit hard.
That would be safe to say.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was fair, it might have been gone. But yeah, that'll put the count out 1-2 for Wassinger. Be huge for Muskerkin to get a strikeout here, just to put a little pep in his step and get a little more confidence in himself to face the next couple batters. But it would be very crucial as well to just ground it into a double play.
Yes.
And be 1 out away from a win. And a nice breaking ball that started probably in the inner third and probably broke a little too far inside on Wassinger, but that'll even the count at 2. In the pitch, runners are going, and once again a turn.
I was hoping to hit the mic.
And once again another turn of a pitch. That might have been fair and gone as well. But after all that hype, the count will still be at 2-2.
Yeah, it seems like he's a little bit early here, especially on the inside ones. He's just turning them.
It almost seems like another version of Kate Adams, but on the left side, as he loves the inside stuff. And that's going to be another turn, and that will be fair. And they're throwing the ball in, and it will be a stand-up double for Wassinger. Blankwitz will stay at third. They obviously don't want any risk being taken as they are down 6 runs, but runners in scoring position with no force out upon them except at first, and this will bring up Jack Harris for the A's.
This just shows you how much heart the A's have. They won't give up. They don't go away, and that's something that you can respect.
And I know we make a lot of connections as the pitch comes in. It'll be outside for ball number 1 for Harris, but make a lot of connections towards the Royals. But the Royals have such a young team with a lot of heart and passion that one might connect to the A's.
Yeah.
As the Royals have had countless comebacks. And that's going to be a nice changeup for strike 1.
Yeah, great pitch there.
Great change of speeds for Warren Muskerkin as he went from fastball that was a little outside to a changeup that just worked itself in. And that'll be a... So there, a lot of just happened there. But it was Muskerkin throwing a ball in the dirt that Kincaid did block. And it popped straight back up, but Kincaid wasn't sure where it landed. And it actually landed in fair territory closer to Warren Muskerkin, so he tried to throw the ball back to Kincaid and wasn't able to catch or make the tag. And that does score 1, making the score 11-6 now here in the top of the 9th for Jack Harris. And that'll miss for a 3-1 count now. Or Muskerkin trying to work that zone, but not able to encapsulate on that pitch, and that's going to be a walk for Jack Harris, putting runners at first and third with no outs here in the top of the ninth.
Yeah. If you're the Blues here, you're really hoping for a double play. That would really help out.
And even if you do score one, it does not matter as long as you are slowly inching closer and closer to a win. Jack Marn is up to bat now. And that's going to be high for ball one. And Jack Marn walked his last at-bat, and I think it was his first at-bat as well, as he was replacing Morgan Wilkins behind the plate. And that is going to be fouled off towards the Blues dugout for strike one, making the count 1-1. It will be interesting to see. Obviously, the Blues have done their fair share of stealing at first and third.
Right.
It will be interesting to see if Jack Harris decides to take off running as well, and what the situation would be for the Blues in that case. So that's going to be high for ball two for Jack Marn.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that, because I'm actually kind of surprised that he hasn't stolen yet, especially with them being so aggressive, and they need to score here,
And I mean, there are 0 outs, so it would be. I'm wondering, as that is low for ball three, making the count 3-1. I am interested if Will Rogers is almost trying to hold back just to make sure that they don't make any mistakes, especially on the bases, as each run definitely counts here in the top of the ninth. The pitch is going to be high for ball four, and that will load the bases for the A's. And up next will be Aiden Morgan, as manager Tanner Kilmer will come out to the mound. And the way that the Blues are coming out makes it seem like there will be a new pitcher, and I believe it's going to be Tyson Grammer to come out and pitch. Grammer is typically an infielder, but in his last couple of games, he's had a couple appearances on the mound and has done a pretty great job at working the count and staying around the zone.
Yeah, I love this move from Kilmer. I was showing high praise for Grammer last time. He throws strikes, and hopefully that can continue today. But I think this is a great move. He's got some decent off speed, but I like how he stays in the zone.
He's a very over-the-top pitcher with some decent velo, and with that, we will take a little break and get back right into the action when he is finished warming up. We are back in the action as the A's have the bases juiced here in the top of the ninth. The score is 11-6. Tyson Grammer is on the bump now, and they're going to make a bunt, and
What happened?
And it's going to be a foul ball, as I believe the bunt might have been that the bunt might have not been in fair territory is the only thing that I can really think about.
Yeah.
Oh. So, as a booth, we have gone to a collective decision that it might have hit Morgan as it bounced in fair territory. So, therefore, it will be strike number 1 for Morgan. As that's going to be in there for called strike 2, and a quick 0-2 count for Morgan as Grammer just works his zone, and he's there for one thing and one thing only, and that is to pitch strikes. As well, as I say that, it's a breaking ball that breaks outside of the zone for ball 1.
I like that, though, trying to get him to chase, and I like how he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
And that's going to be a fly ball to right field, and no tag will be going as Kincaid blocks it right in the third base path. And that'll be a 1 out for the Blues. So Grammer going out and getting a quick out to start his outing.
Great job. Just what Grammer wanted there, with the pop fly. And kind of surprised that the A's didn't try to push that there, but probably a smart move. He probably would have been out.
And now comes Blake Veneman to the plate as he hits a fly ball to center field. Kyan Gus is under it and makes the grab, and tagging from third and second. Both will reach safely, so the A's will score 1 as Easton Wassinger will score. And Jack Harris will advance to third, while Jax Martin will stay at first. But now there is 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. That'll be in there for called strike 1. I would agree, Nick, on the tempo of Grammer, as he just is almost like the starting pitcher for the A's, as that is a ground ball to third, but will be foul.
Wow. Barely foul, just foul.
That would have been a tough play to make for Jackson Evans, but it puts the count at 0-2 for Evan Johnson.
Yeah, and Grammer really doing what we expected,
Yes.
Just going in, ready to throw strikes.
His past couple of outings have been great, and as he is not a PO, obviously he is doing his job. Like I was talking about, the tempo, as that is a breaking ball outside for ball 1, is the same as Keyser, the starting pitcher for the A's, how they just like to get to work and keep going until they can't anymore.
Right.
And that's going to be a breaking ball that is going to be low and away for ball 2. So the Deuces run wild here in Baldwin City with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. The Blues are 1 strike away from ending this game. And there's going to be a line drive to right field, but it is going to be caught, and that will be the game for the Blues, as this final score is 11-7. And once again, the A's make a solid effort to make a comeback, but holy smokes, what an intense game to go through once again.
Yeah, A's showing that they never give up. But another thing shown to us is that Grammer, once again, coming in to close the game out, and he's not even a PO. I love the way Grammer pitches and goes in there and competes.
I would agree. I think it was a great performance by Grammer, and I think that will be our interviewee tonight.
I absolutely agree.
2 for 2 with a home run.
Never mind. We might have 2 interviewees tonight. But a great performance by the Blues, but a solemn effort by the A's, as the Blues will win at home and inch 1 game closer to 500, as I believe they are 5-7 on the season. And a couple Blues players making their appearance, to wave back to the fans, viewers, broadcasters, anywhere and anyone. I am Brett Gamber here with your Mid-Plains game, and I believe the Blues will line up next on Tuesday, and it will be against the Monarchs here in Baldwin City. And we'll have a little bit of an upgrade. We will be at the Baker University Stadium, so it'll be a little change of venue for the broadcast. But I am Brett Gamber signing off, and hope everyone has a great night. And yeah, good night.